6.25 years ago, my first electric car. Man, I love this thing. It was so much fun to drive. But there's something I thought of after I finished the video you're about to see. As time goes on, these batteries are only going to get more reliable and better. They are better now than the battery that was put in this car in 2015, the one you see right here. The batteries they're putting in them today are much more reliable and much better built and just better overall than this battery in this Chevy Spark EV you see right here. Much better. And as time goes on, they're going to get better and better and more reliable and more reliable. So that's something to think about. All right, on to the video. Good afternoon. It's 12 p.m. or, as some would call it, the meridian. August 12th, 2024. p.m. post-meridian, a.m. anti-meridian. So I guess noon is just meridian. But anyway, moving on. This is what one guy posted. He commented on my last video talking about how cheap it is to drive an electric car. Picking nickels in front of steamroller. Wait till you get to that year when the whole battery needs to get replaced. I hear this all the time, both face to face and in situations like this. I almost responded and said, well, stick around, make sure you subscribe and wait. That way you can enjoy it when it happens, because I will do a video on it and you can hee-haw and tell me how you were right and I was wrong, and it'll be a good time for you. Just stick around and wait for it. But I didn't think he'd want to stick around for years and years and years and years. Plus, why bother? He probably would just say that I will lie and say it didn't happen or something. Who knows? But anyway, so here's what I think of him. X. It means nothing. Now this guy, is he misinformed or does he not care about the truth? There's a very good chance he's just misinformed. It could be he cares a great deal about the truth, because there's so much misinformation out there and so much propaganda. I can see how an honest person would honestly believe you're going to replace these batteries every few years. But I also know for a fact that a lot of people don't give a whit about the truth. They have joined their tribe, and their tribe says you must hate electric cars. Just like some people have joined the tribe that says you must love electric cars. I'm in the tribe of honesty. No matter how much it would hurt, I seek the truth no matter where that truth leads me. But there are a lot of people who believe what they want to believe. But I do seek the truth, and I hope he does too, and he's just been fooled. But look at this, Recurrent. I found this. This was put out in May. This is August, 3 months ago. How long do electric car batteries last? And one thing this thing says is we don't know, because this technology is too new. And all we can do is look at the data we have on hand. But I can almost guarantee you it's not going to be like what that guy thinks, that every few years you're going to replace the battery. That's not going to happen. First off, before I show you this data, remember, one of the first electric cars with the Nissan Leaf first generation, those batteries suck. They are horrible. They weren't temperature controlled. They didn't really take a whole lot of precautions to protect the batteries. It is common to find a 13 or not even that. It's common to find a 2015, 2016. I think 2017 is the last year of the first generation, I think. It was taken 2016, 8 years old. It's common to find one with 40, 50% degradation. Common. But that's not common for all electric cars with the Nissan Leaf. First gen. I think they probably fixed most of the problems in the second gen, even though they're not temperature controlling it, which I think is a mistake. But anyway, let's see. Now, I will put this link in the description, and then YouTube will probably send me an email that says I gave y'all a link to spam or something. They do that all the time. Who knows? But we'll see. But I'll put this link in the description if I remember to do so. All right, you can pause this and look if you want to. You can read any of this. I'm not reading all of it. But look at this. 2015 and older, 13% of vehicles have reported battery replacements. And that's 9 years old. I wonder what percent of ICE vehicles have reported engine replacements. I don't know, it's 13%. But this is new technology. And this is including the Nissan Leaf. So it'd be like including the Yugo on gas car problems. That's not fair. Because the Nissan Leaf, besides the battery, has been an extremely reliable car from what I understand. The first generation, extremely reliable, and no problems with batteries catching on fire or anything like that. But man, they just put crappy batteries in them. So that wasn't fair, the Yugo comparison, but you get my point. Less than 1% of 2016 and newers have had their battery replaced. Okay, and now this is 200,000 drivers. They look at 200,000 drivers in the Recurrent community. Overall, 2.5% of cars, EVs, have had their battery replaced. That doesn't count the recall. See, if you look here, the blue is recall. Look at that, Chevy Bolt. Guarantee it, Chevy Bolt, Chevy Bolt. But right here, 2011, 30% have been replaced. Ooh, that's a high number. Jeez. Even though it's 13 years ago. And most people will be happy if their car lasted 13 years. Because usually in 13 years, an ICE car is not going to be worth much. It's like an average ICE car that is a 2009 model. With say 150,000 miles. A car, not a truck. What's it worth? A couple $1,000s anyway? 3,000 or 4,000 maybe. So, but, and like I said, Nissan Leaf. That's a big chunk of it. I almost guarantee it. And then as you go down, look here though, 2016, this is 8 years ago. Less than 1%. Less than 1% from 8 years ago. I wouldn't be surprised if 1% of the engines had to be replaced in ICE vehicles or 2016s. 2015, even that's only 4%. 2014, 10 years ago now, it's about 7%. And again, I bet you at least half of these are the Nissan Leaf first generation. I don't know that, but I bet it is. I wish you would have put that in here. And then look at 2017. Man, look at that little bit slither that don't count as part of the recall. And look at this. 2020, yeah, it's a little bit higher than I like to see. 2%, and it's only 4 years ago. We'll see. But we saw increased numbers of non-recall battery replacements in 2011, 30%, 2012, 16%, 2013, 10%, 2014, 7%, and 2015, 4%. How long will your EV battery last? This is where he says, we really don't know. It's too new technology. But if you ask an EV hater, by George, they'll know how long it'll last. 5 years maybe, even though it comes with an 8-year, 100,000 mile warranty. It ain't gonna last long. You gotta replace the cell phone in your battery in your cell phone every so often. You gotta do it in your car too, and that's why a lot of the EV haters don't realize. The ones that are seeking the truth, but they just have been led the wrong way. They don't realize that the batteries in cars are way different than cell phones. Way different. For one thing, they besides Nissan, most manufacturers temperature control the battery. If it's sitting out there in Walmart or at your workplace and it gets too hot, it'll send cool air to the battery to cool it down. If it gets too cold, it'll send warm air to heat it up. Most batteries don't let you have access to the top or the bottom of the battery, so you can never deplete it completely or never fill it up completely. Batteries don't like being completely full and they don't like being empty. They don't like being hot and they don't like being cold. They're like us. And it cools the battery down. This temperature control thing cools it down also while you're charging, because if you're charging fast, that battery heats up, so it needs to cool it down. I was watching a Chevy Bolt video just the other day. The guy's only put out about 6 or 8 videos total showing, and those 6 or 8 videos ranges from he got his boat until it has over 300,000 miles on it. I was like, man, I wish he would have done more videos. It was very few. But anyway, he had over 300,000 miles on his boat, no problems. And we hear it all the time. Cars with 300 and 400,000 miles on their electric cars, no problems. But for every one of those, you can find an EV hater or somebody who just wanted to show the other side could find one where it had to be replaced at 50 and 60,000 miles probably. That's the ones that are going to make the news right there. But anyway, what do y'all think? What do y'all think about the people that tell you, I know I can't be the only EV driver. I can't be the only one. I know that y'all that drive electric cars, I know you hear it from your coworkers, and I know you hear it from your family and your friends, that how you got to replace the battery every few years. It doesn't matter, you're saving money because that battery's going to be destroyed in 5 years, 6 years. What do they tell you? And what do you tell them? So anyway, the Chevy Bolt has another 7 years left on the warranty. or about roughly another 90,000 miles. The Nero has another 5 years more or less on the battery, or roughly another 75,000 miles. I'm not worried, and I'm not worried for a few years after that either. Anyway, you have a good day. Thanks for watching. You better start saving your money now if you drive like a car, because you're going to replace your battery soon.